Hey everyone, James here. In today's video we are going to be checking out the Hidom Nano filter for my fish tank. We're going to be setting it up on this tank right here, so really looking forward to trying it out. Let's see what it's all about. Alright everyone, so here it is. Here's the box. It's not the most sturdy of boxes, it's quite flimsy cardboard, but as you can see here, this is the 3-watt filter, recommended aquarium, 45 litres there. So let's have a look, get it open. Okay, so you have, well, there's not exactly a lot of packaging as in foam or anything to keep it secure, but you do get the filter. So this is the hang on. So as you can see, comparison size to my hand, it's not a massive filter, but it should work just perfectly for a nano aquarium. You've got all the bits of the filtration system there. Looks like a little piece of plastic has fell off somewhere, so I'm just going to be interested to find out where that comes from, unless that's just a cap. And also got an additional sponge that you can put on here for the outlet. All seems okay. Obviously you don't get a sponge or any kind of filtration with it, it's just the unit, and looks like the unit has been scuffed ever so slightly. Can't see that being like watermarks or dirt or anything, so I guess that's just a mark of the lack of packaging in the box. It's got an instruction manual, but all appears to be in a different language here, so let's have a look inside though. Oh no, there's a UK guideline here on how to set it up, and some troubleshooting bits there as well. Alright, well there isn't much to it, so let's get it into the aquarium and hooked up. Alright everyone, so before we get started on it, this is the current state of this aquarium. I can't tell if it's a result of bad filtration, too much lighting, or too much fertilizer, because I've been doing all three of them quite a lot. So I want to eradicate the filter. That thing in there is absolutely shocking anyway. That is actually the one that comes standard with this tank, and they are awful filters. They don't really do much. They just blow too powerful in the aquarium as well, so it just caused all my plants to uptake. But you can see here that I'm experiencing a lot of algae as well. So light's been off for quite a while now, so I want to sort the filtration out, get a nice flow going in there. Got a little bit of CO2 going into it at the back there. As a footnote, the tank is actually completely cycled now, which is a great thing. So I can actually get some cleanup crew in here, maybe some shrimps or something, and see if they can maybe help just a little bit with the algae until it starts to balance itself out naturally. Apparently I lied. Looks like there is a bit of filtration in this. I don't know if you can see it here, but this is actually a little, I think it's a carbon filter there. It does feel like there's something in it, and a tiny little piece of sponge filter there. It's not going to do much, but my plan is to put an actual sponge in here, or maybe some filter floss, but obviously it's got the little coarse filter sponge on the front there as well, so it probably would do the job, to be honest, but I might just add just a little bit more filtration in there just to keep the tank clean and tidy. Alright guys, one thing that I've just encountered on this aquarium is that the hang-on filter will not hang on to this whilst it's got this piece of plastic here. But I've got a bit of an issue, because the piece of plastic is fine and dandy, but if I do not have the plastic on, then the lid doesn't fit on, so I've got a problem with there. So what I've done, I don't know if you can see here, but I've cut a little groove out in this piece of plastic, and I'm hoping that the nozzle of the hang-on will fit just below that. If not, I'm gonna have to keep cutting until I get a bit of a gap there. Then, moment of truth, let's see if the filter goes through. Just put this around, and here's the section. Yes, look at that, works like a treat. The one thing to remember with hang-on filters as well, which I didn't mention earlier, is that before you start them, you need to make sure that they're filled with water. Otherwise, the pump will burn out on the filter. So always make sure there's a bit of water in there before you turn it on. Alright everyone, so the filter's hooked up. You can see within a matter of minutes how much dirt it's collected. So it's clearly doing its job. I'm hoping that it's just going to give a nice bit of surface agitation. Flow seems pretty good so far. And yeah, like I said, hopefully I'm going to knock this algae on the head as well. But in terms of at the top there, you can see that the filter's working fine and the gap worked, which I cut, so happy with that. A little bit gutted I had to obviously cut my aquarium just to fit the filter on. We'll check back in a few weeks and I'll let you know how I've been getting on with it. Alright everyone, I normally leave it about 4 weeks to come back to a product I'm reviewing, but I just got crazy busy and it's been 4 months now, so I've well and truly tested the filter out now, so I just wanted to give you my thoughts and opinions. I've actually removed it from this tank here because I'm just working on a few bits. You can see the water's not very sort of topped up and the plant's died off, so I'm thinking about what I'm going to do to this one to change it. So in the meantime I put it onto another aquarium which has been going really well, so I wanted to give you my feedback on it. So anyone that follows my channel will know that this aquarium has been set up for about a month and a half now, give or take. And yeah, so I put the filter on here, so it's actually been sort of keeping this aquarium nice and clean. So you can see it does a pretty good job there, barring a few bits of algae, which obviously down to this new light I've got on here. But apart from that, it seems to be doing really well. The flow's not too strong. As you can see, removing the glass lid here, the flow on this tank is not that strong at all, really. It's just the sort of what you expect from a nano sort of hang on, really. So it's quite low power, really. Doesn't really cause too much in terms of movement of my plants. You can see that they're barely moving there. It's probably more the fish disturbing the plants than it is the actual filter, so it doesn't really do too much in terms of high flow. If we open the filter here, you can see that I actually removed the original filtration out of here because it came with a really awful nano sponge, this one here, and it was really fine, and I just found out it got clogged really quickly, especially if you've got like high bio load. So I mean, it's not massive amount in here. I've only got 3 fish really and a shrimp, so it was blocking it up. So I cleaned it out, put a bit of coarse sponge in there, and I've just been using filter floss as well to sort of keep any dirt out of the aquarium. In terms of performance, it seems to be doing the job. I cleaned it out recently, like I said, when I removed the sponge, and when I put it back in, I did notice that it was making a really awful noise, even when I made sure all the pieces were in the correct positions. But the fan blade did take a little while before it stopped making a bit of a racket, but after that it seemed to be working really well. All in all, I think it does a good enough job for the small tank that it's in. I wouldn't go too further forward maybe than a sort of a 20 odd litre aquarium. I think anything bigger than that you're probably going to have issues with it. It's not meant for that, it's meant for the smaller nano tanks. Build wise itself, it's plastic, it's quite cheap plastic, but it hasn't broken on me or it hasn't leaked, and I haven't had any breakages. So in 4 months I think that's pretty good going, because I'll be honest, I thought it was going to break after a couple of weeks, so we are doing really well so far. Price wise, at the time I purchased this was £8 or $7.95, but it seems to have gone up in price in the last few months to about £11 or just shy of that. Yeah, so I guess cost of living and all the rest of it that going on these days, it's just caused the prices to just go through the roof. So I did get a bargain at the time. Customer service, I haven't actually dealt with Hidom at all in terms of the product, or they didn't send me it. It's just something I bought myself, so I haven't had any dealings with them, so I can't really give too much of an opinion on how well their support is. Overall, really good product. I can't really fault it too much other than the noise. I thought once I sort of cleaned it out and everything that it completely broken, but after I put it together it took about an afternoon, I'd say, before the sort of fan settled itself and it started working again. So whether that was just getting that movement pushing through the filter and through the aquarium, and after that it seems to have settled. I haven't had a peep from it since, so it's been pretty good. So it's really nice to the aquarium as well. It doesn't vibrate or doesn't make any noises. It does sit at a slight angle, but there isn't really anything that you can do to adjust it. I know some of the bigger hang-ons that you can kind of move pieces of plastic to make it sort of straighten up a little bit against the glass, but it seems to be doing really well for this little tank that I've got it on. So overall I'm quite happy with the product. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and let me know what you think of this filter, if you've ever used it or any other ones, in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I have loads of content on there, reviews, aquascaping, you name it, I've got it on there. So definitely go check out my other stuff. And until next time, you stay safe.